Good morning.
For joining us. Yeah, great Monday morning. Great to be here. Great to be
Not
alive.
great, but it's
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
It's very nice outside, hot, and
Yeah, I got it was hot leaving Swansboro this morning in my air-conditioned car, and then getting in here air-conditioned. So I'm looking outside right now, and yeah, it's probably hot as hell outside.
Yeah, I struggled this morning.
9:35, and it's 110 degrees.
I struggled this morning. I'm extremely sore for no reason, and
no, you have a very good reason. You bought a $6 basketball, and you went out and shot hoops all weekend by yourself.
Yeah, walking around shooting, and I'm sore as sore could possibly be.
Did they have nets on the rims?
Yeah, I can't play with it otherwise. Yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah.
I used to like the chain nets.
Yeah, I do too. I don't even know if anybody uses them anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But a good net that.
Anyway.
So anyway, we digress, which we often do in this podcast. But thanks for joining us. Did you watch any of the baseball games over the weekend? I did.
I did.
You know what? And I would, on a typical baseball season, I'm not going to sit inside on a Saturday or Sunday, for that matter, at night and devote 4 hours.
Right.
But I devoted quite a bit of time watching the different games that were on.
I did.
And while it was enjoyable to see the players, pitching and striking the ball, I don't like the artificial sound that they're piping. Why is Major League Baseball so stupid about that?
I'm not exactly sure why they're doing what they're doing. I'll say this. I've watched 4 or 5 different sports now with the new rules or whatever with the virus. And baseball is suffering the most.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. And I don't know what they can do about it.
Well, I think, I don't know if they listen to comments like this. Surely they're picking up our podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
At Major League Baseball.
At the headquarters.
So I think it sucks the way you're producing the, just let it natural, let the sound just be natural on the field. It's unique. And, why not let the viewer who's watching it on television, which is pretty much the only way you can watch it.
Well, I'll say
just
this.
Hear the crack of the bat, the players chattering.
That was one of the small differences. I'm with you on the piped in stuff.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
One of the small differences was the second weekend, the announcers don't feel the need to incessantly talk.
Yeah.
To fill the little void.
Yeah.
So you got a little bit more of the sound of the glove and the bat and so forth. It was a little bit better, but it's still.
I'm waiting for some batter to strike a foul ball, like a rifle shot, right into the seats and go through the seats. Because often, normally there's people sitting there, and they're the ones, getting
well,
the ball.
I
bet you there's going to be something like, Jesus Christ.
Well, they hit one. They hit one the other day. Game I was watching, the Yankees, I think, and then one of the ones off the first baseline, and it hit the cardboard dummy person right in the face. It was a woman's face. Hit it right in the face, and I was like, "Wow, they would have ate that one."
I don't like that either. I don't like the faces. You got to think. However this virus started, and it started in China. They got to be sitting back. The Communist Party saying, and when they watch a baseball game, and it's the same shot from center, all the empty seats. They must be like.
Yeah,
look at that. Look what they did. And I was saying, I
guess it depends on if you think it was an accident or if you think it was.
Well, either way, they let it come out.
I don't know that you can contain anything like that. I think
they contained Shanghai and Beijing. They cored that off. Regardless, look what it's done.
Yeah.
Look what it's done. But take away the piped-in music. That's just
bad.
That's bad. And get the faces off the place. But I do like that they hit.
Yeah, it was great. I almost thought you should get a bell ringer or something.
Or that person should get maybe next year's season
get a
tickets.
Free ticket or hot dog or something. I absolutely.
Now
agree.
I think too. I just we've gone out to different eateries and restaurants around here, and every other table's X'd out. You can't sit here. Why can't they do the same at the stadium? You don't have to bring in the whole concession staff. Okay, forget the food part of it. Just if you want to have people in the stand, can people not survive without eating, or drinking beer and all that?
Yeah, I think
you got to have ticket takers. You could probably limit the number of portals that the patrons, the ticket holders, come into. Because you're not filling the house.
That's the one.
I think it's the house.
It's the funneling through to get them there. I think is the logistical problem.
Yeah, I
it's
don't
like some of these baseball stadiums, they're right off the subway, so you're going to be funneling people if you open it. I think that might be the problem. All right. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
I know it's a lot simpler than just saying, hey, you could sit somebody here.
I'll be honest.
Then here and then here and here. I get that.
I watched some NBA scrimmage and. It was all right. I enjoyed it. They're definitely more forward thinking than some of the other leagues or organizations.
Baseball. Yeah.
And they got some innovative stuff they're trying. And I'm pretty anxious for everybody to see it because I think it's going to be nice.
Well, I think baseball though. By next weekend or into August, you're going to start seeing separation, and they're 5% of their schedules already played out. Most of them all played 3 games already. Yep. Some played 4.
Yep. Some played 4.
A couple that started on Thursday. You're going to have very little downtime, very little off days.
No, and it's from a pure baseball standpoint. The difference between going 2 of 3 during a series and 1 of 3 is going to be
huge. No,
it's going to start piling up.
They got to play almost every series. Like we got to
win 2 of 3.
We got to come out winning these series. You know,
it's going to be
because a team that goes on a slide goes 0-5, is done.
Well, if you go 2 of 6, you win 2 out of 6. And the other team wins, they're 4 out of 6. Yeah. You're already 2 back. Boom, just like that.
Separation, yeah.
It's going to happen fast.
It's really like every game. What is it? 60, and they're about 2.5 times their strength, right? Because it's 60 versus
basically
close to it. Yeah, 2.5 to 3 times. So it's like look in dog years.
Yeah.
It's like 1 year or 7 years. This one game is
one
like
game
3 games.
Counts 3 times, right?
Like 3 games,
essentially.
Yeah.
So
essentially,
it's 3 times as important as it normally would be.
There were several games that I believe went extra innings, and the new rule affect they put a base runner at second. Those games were finished in the 10th inning.
I'll say this to that:
it's helping speed up the end of the game.
I had seen it in minor leagues because they did it like the Down East Wood Ducks do it in their league. And I had no problem with it. Some of the older announcers thought it would be a problem, and they all, to a man, have been like, I thought I wouldn't like it, but having seen it, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things that as people see it more, they'll probably, it's like the football one in college where they get the ball. When they first put that out, everybody's like, oh, it's going to ruin. Well, it's actually made it pretty interesting,
quite frankly.
It
interesting. I'm trying to think, does it screw up the statistics at all in baseball? It doesn't.
Not really.
Not really. I mean,
maybe if you were counting the run scores by individual, because you're putting a guy on second base that didn't do anything to get there.
True.
That would be the only one, really.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, but you would not get an at bat in baseball if you walked to get the first. So it doesn't show up as an at bat, but it gets on base percentage.
Yeah, and you could technically score a run.
There's something from that.
Yeah,
and the other most improbable would be if a game were to go 0-0 through 9 innings. This is way out there. It goes 0 for 0 for 9 innings, and the same pitchers went 9 innings. So basically, they got a no hitter going.
Yeah.
Or let's make it really improbable. 2 pitchers pitching 2 perfect games, and 9 innings in regulation and a tie. They put a runner at second. That blows the perfect game for? It would never happen.
It would never happen, but technically they could keep their perfect game if they threw back-to-back wild pitches.
That's.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I don't get that.
If you have had 2 perfect games going, you can put a guy on second in the top of the 10th, and the pitcher throws back-to-back wild pitches. The guy scores from second, game over.
That's a no-hitter, not a perfect game. Well, no.
Yeah. I don't know. Baseball guys out there, I don't think that counts against a perfect game.
Yeah, it does. The wild pitches?
Yeah.
Sure it does. Yeah.
Are you sure
about
that?
They scored.
I'm not positive about that.
I don't know. I have to ponder that one.
Yeah, but I have to look that up.
When's the last time a perfect game was?
We haven't had a perfect game.
No,
I think there was one last year.
There's never been.
There's never been 2.
There's never been 2.
Yeah, there's never been 2.
I mean, is it possible? Sure, it's possible.
Yeah.
Is it probable?
Yeah,
it's highly improbable.
It's possible it's going to snow outside right now.
I threw a perfect game.
Yeah.
I threw a perfect game in 1974.
Really?
Yeah, July. It was July 24th. So I had the baseball. I talked about this on the radio show. Get your radio fixed.
Doing what? Little League?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
7 innings.
Nice.
Yeah. 21 batters up. 21 batters never made first base. And I had some sketch. Well, I had a good bat. I had good defense behind me, and the last play was a pop up to like left center field. You could play 4 outfielders.
Yeah.
And that's where you usually would hide your weakest player out there. And it went to him. It's like, oh, come on, because we knew, we knew we had it going, and he caught it. That was a great feeling. No perfect game.
Yeah.
It happened.
I
think I was 13 years old. It was 1974.
Wow.
Right in July.
You are old.
With the fairgrounds in Allentown. So that's cool. I could bring it.
But the flip to the baseball problems is the NBA will have virtual fans. They also have an app where you can interact and make the crowd noise louder if you like something.
Who gets to be the virtual fan? You're going to.
I'm sure they pay for that. I don't know.
It's described as a big Zoom. If you
300
imagine that on the sideline.
Yeah.
And you said too about a camera that's going to go up and down
Yes,
the side.
they got a camera running court length going with the ball and the players.
Now they did that in several games at the college level.
Mm-hmm.
I think when UNC Chapel Hill played, who did they play on the aircraft carrier?
It's like Syracuse.
I think they did it there. And some of the games played at what's the Lobos in New Mexico? You're down in the pit, and they could run the camera along the side. There.
Yeah,
it's a different angle.
Just a different angle.
Yeah.
I think NASCAR has the same benefit. All the camera shots are fairly tight. Like you don't even miss the fans in NASCAR.
No,
you don't even know that they're
a blur.
Yeah, and what I've seen in the basketball, it has a summer league feel to it, but you don't miss them either. Baseball doesn't. They're not the same. You miss them in baseball. I did not miss them in boxing and MMA because the camera was tight. Golf, I didn't miss them.
Yeah,
but baseball is the first one that I felt like I was watching something different. So
yeah, because they do that wide shot, that center
and
shot.
Football may have the same problem, particularly during kickoff and punts, because what it is that big empty arena.
Yeah.
That's what it's doing.
Yeah, you're right. That's right.
I think the NBA hit the head when they moved from the arenas to where they're at now, which is like a high school gym almost. Mm-hmm. I think they hit something on that because by accident, these big arenas being empty, it just looks.
It looks like
When they showed the Washington National Stadium from the scoreboard, you were like, wow, is everybody dead? What's going on? Because it just didn't look right.
It looks like a Marlins game.
Right.
Everybody's, it's not, did a little Madden right there.
It's like a guy from the Devil Rays said we're used to no fans.
I wonder at ball games, because we rarely, when we go to a game and we're sitting so close, there's 30,000 people around us chattering. Do the players chatter like they do in Little League? Remember how we say like to the pitcher, like if you're the pitcher, Rich, come on, Rich, swing.
Well, they don't do it like that, but
coaches made you chatter. Remember that?
Yeah,
come on, guys, I can't hear you out there. And you'd start.
That's because it's always some guy that wants to play major leagues coaching those teams.
And most of the kids are out there chewing their meat, looking at the birds.
They make a little noise. You can hear them when the guys would.
I think it's more positioning,
Yeah, and
come in a step or two.
And it's cheering almost, and stuff like that. But you could hear them a little bit in one of the games I watched, which I would rather hear that.
I want to hear that, and you want to hear the jawing from the dugout. If they're going to ride the umpire a little bit, you want to hear that.
Well, what the one that they pointed out in one of the games I was watching was that the pitcher's, fastball was gone, and so the other team was telling their batter he can't throw this anymore or something like that.
Yeah.
And you could hear it, and I enjoyed that.
That's
part
what I want to hear.
Yeah.
I want to hear the behind the scenes stuff.
The NBA's a little concerned about that. I don't know what kind of delay they're going to put it on, but it'll be some delay, just because they're concerned about language, things like that.
Yeah. Who are some of the potty mouth coaches? All of them?
Not even coaches. They're worried about it's the players.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just talking trash out.
Talking trash, and when they mess up, hollering a curse word. I don't have a problem with it, but I know a lot of people probably would. All I know is this: if you've ever played a sport, you're used to it.
Yeah.
You hear it all.
Imagine like MJ, talking out there. He was a trash talker.
He
could bring it.
Him and Larry Bird and them, they're like some of the best trash talkers ever.
Barkley.
I'd love to hear that. My favorite Barkley story is you could hear it because they had the mic down in the basket. They were fussing back and forth, and the guy was shooting free throws, and Barkley told his teammate, basically, screw it, hit the guy, I'll pay the fine. Mm-hmm. And they had it on tape, and he actually got in trouble for saying that on tape. That was one of my favorite things. Just hit him, I'll pay the fine.
Yeah. Imagine those heated games. I'm thinking like back in the '82 final, Georgetown, North Carolina. Patrick, he goaltended the first 5 shots.
Somebody said something.
And he's saying, come on.
Yeah.
I got number 6 waiting here,
That's right.
And
that's the part that most people don't see. I guess that's the sausage being made part of this stuff. If you imagine football, everybody, that's another one. Remember they did that one time back like in the early 80s where they didn't have announcers and you could hear what they were saying?
Yeah.
That's the only time they did it.
Yeah, I bet you that. Because that's physical to start with.
Right.
And you talk about those like wide receivers coming off the line with the cornerback there.
And when you light somebody up.
Come on, bring it on.
And the guys on the inside of the line talking to each other. I mean,
even the quarterback, I'm sure Brady gets snarky after
absolutely.
You didn't sack me that time, and look what happened there.
That's the one time they did that. They hadn't done it since in the NFL. So, be curious about that when their turn comes up because it's coming.
Yeah. What about down to our level here? High school sports. What's that look like?
They still don't know what they're going to do. I don't see it myself, but I have no evidence.
They would.
I don't want anybody to shape their opinion on what I'm saying. My personal opinion is they're not playing.
Well, and August 1st will be one of the milestones there because that's when college or high school football, high school sports for the fall
supposed to kick out. Yeah,
that was always.
I just don't see it.
I bet that's.
But my plan, my proposal would be let the teams play within their own counties. Like for instance, you have 3 schools in Carteret County that they might play each other. They might let them play each other twice. You don't have to worry about outside school boards rules. Mm-hmm. Other counties with different protocols. You're within your own county.
Does Jones County play?
Well, yeah.
They don't.
Well, they can play here. Yeah. Who knows? They can work something out when it's only one team.
Did they have a team last year? Jones Senior?
They played half the year, and then they had enough injuries that everybody had to stop.
Yeah. So. Onslow County would be in fine shape. They got a bunch of schools there now. Right. Like Duplin's got a couple.
Got 3.
Right? Yeah.
They got 3, just like Carteret County.
Yeah.
So Lenore's got 3.
Wow.
So you could play your own schools, and you wouldn't have to worry about crossing county lines with different ideas.
But a county with, like, for instance, let's keep it in Carteret County here, because after all, we are Carteret CONNECTS. You have 3 high schools. Mm-hmm. So
let them play each other twice.
Yeah, but you're not. I guess you got to throw out the whole. We always play on Friday night, so you have Croatan or East plays West. Mm-hmm. Croatan watches.
Right.
And then West plays
Croatan.
You
just have to rotate.
Watches. Yeah.
So. But you'd also get a 10-week season or whatever it turns out to, because everybody would be sitting out a little bit.
Yeah. They got you.
And look, I'll tell you this: you ask the kids playing, would you rather do that or not play? I guarantee I know what they would say. So
I guess you got 6 groups.
Yes.
6, so that's an even number because you got the JVs.
So
JV could play.
Do they have? I don't know. They got JVs around here, do they?
Yeah.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So and they typically play like Thursday before the Friday game. So you always hear them say our JVs won last night.
So let one of the varsity beat up one of the JV teams?
No. The JVs could they could have that on the field.
2 of the JVs play, and the JV that's left gets to get beat up by one of our varsity. Why not?
Well, I'm just saying, for as far as playing on home, like Croatan wouldn't be necessarily sitting out there. JVs could play against the JVs.
Right, and the left out JV team gets to go play the varsity left out team. Yeah. So somebody gets an easy win, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
That would hurt. These kids are little.
But again, that was I just think that's one way to try to get it in for these kids.
They're gonna have to. It's gonna be something that you've never seen before. Hopefully, we don't see again, but it's gonna be interesting. And then the college level, who knows? That's gonna be the same deal.
College is I don't know. I would say this: I would watch an Alabama inter squad scrimmage right now.
Yeah,
absolutely would sign up for it. So
that may too play into either within the state or in the conference. No, you're not going to have.
I don't know.
But your conference is so strong. ECU, it's so big.
Yeah, and the Big Ten is. The Big Ten goes from Maryland to Iowa.
True. Yeah.
I mean, are you really going to fly 6 states to play football? I just don't see
how big the ACC is.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I think what you're going to end up with is some partnership amongst certain schools that say, okay, if they try to get it in at all, they may just scrap it. I don't know. But that's a lot of money. I just heard some figure from one of the colleges, and he said without football, the revenue would be just destroyed.
I was reading stories at your alma mater. Some of the men on the swim team are transferring out. I don't know where they transfer to.
At this point, where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go? You're all jumping from the pot to the kettle.
I mean, unless you're going to one of those schools in the Northeast that doesn't even have football, you're going from one to another. They got the same problem. They all do, because football funds everything, really.
Yeah, especially those sports. I mean,
yeah.
Who pay? I swam, so who pays to come see you swim?
That's right. Nobody.
That's it. Your parents and your girlfriend.
It's just like I heard the same about soccer. Well, no.
Yeah.
No.
Football and basketball.
And basketball at most of the places, but not all of them.
That's true.
They just don't generate money.
Yeah.
And without that, there are no lacrosse, field hockey, essentially all the Title IX.
Well, it's
sports.
like at my college, basketball funds the program because they have a D3 football.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so obviously that's not it's
money.
Georgetown and it's TV revenue and the Big East League.
TV money for
and that's
basketball.
who's paying for girls lacrosse, field hockey, men's lacrosse, men's
and I think that's what you're going to see is some scaled back version of athletic programs.
Yeah. They could move it down to club level and not necessarily scholarship.
That's right.
You know, so I mean, heck, our Georgetown football should be club level. Honestly, I mean,
I think
a big school as we played Duquesne. You know,
a lot of ours were back at ECU, if I recall, lacrosse and things like that. Club moved up now to real.
Well, because when you and I were going to school, the big push was to get more girls and women in sports. Title IX,
and
so
it's worked.
they not only into the sports, but not only into competitive sports, but cheerleading became a varsity sport, both for men and women.
Yeah, I don't know how the scholarships work with those because it's like baseball. I know at ECU they don't get.
Just as an example of one, my wife's friend's daughter, coming out of Mecklenburg, or Union County, she got a full ride as a cheerleader, full ride to GW, and she hurt her ankle in her freshman year.
And that was it.
No, they kept her. They gave her scholarship because I guess she could cheer on the sidelines and do stuff.
I think what needs to happen, but won't, is that college football rosters need to be scaled back.
Yeah.
They're 100 plus. No sense in that. That needs to be scaled
Why do
back.
They do that? They don't. I mean, for the sake of having a deep bench.
Right.
Jesus, hey, when you see them at a home game,
I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
now, they don't fly them all if a D1, but still a home game. They suit up every number.
Everybody, and that's
every
why.
Number, right?
Well, what you've gotten is you've got the same number on offense and defense. Some guy wearing 37 is playing. He's got the number on somebody on defense got the same number. And you see this at the big schools, not the little ones.
That's nuts.
Yeah, they need to scale that back. They need to cut that back to about 75. That would be I mean, think about it. That's 20 scholarships at a place like Alabama or something. Yeah. It's not cheap.
Because the pros carry, what, 45?
45 plus 6.
The practice squad.
Practice squad is what they call it now.
Yeah.
And that's the way. You don't need more than 75.
What do they call it, the taxi squad?
Well, back then you could go, if you own that team, you could go to another team off. Yeah, but you can't do that anymore.
But they get paid pretty good, practice squad.
I mean, they're paid.
Yeah, that's right. We were hoping, from Swansboro, DeAndre Thompkins was going to be on the the practice squad for the Eagles. He made down to the last day cut.
Like I said, I just think that scaling back the colleges would not only help the cost, it would give other schools the chance to get some better players.
Yeah.
Basically, Alabama signed, I want to say 12 or 15 top 300 players this year. Think about that for a minute. You got a whole starting team
that just got
of
signed.
top 300 guys going to one school.
Yeah.
If you do that every year, what's it look like over there? I mean, if you change the rules a little bit, then some of the other schools can get some of these guys. And honestly, I think it'd be better for the kids. I mean, what they don't show you at Alabama is all the 5-star recruits that are at the Hardee's working now.
On the clipboard,
right,
for 4 years, 6 years, or whatever,
and never got a chance to even get on the field because I can only imagine how intense their practices are. I mean, the opportunity to get on field at Alabama, geez, Louise, that's got to be something.
That's where Forrest Gump went.
He got on the field, he turned the kickoffs,
and he just ran. They had to stop. They had the signs that say "Stop," Forrest. How old's that movie?
25.
Older than that. Came out in the 80s.
No, it did not.
Forrest Gump. No, early 90s.
Early 90s.
We just
30.
We just Richard sent me a text on Saturday night, said Caddyshack's on Paramount. So it was at 8:30, right?
Yeah.
It started at 8:30 with commercials. And I'm just looking at it, and I saw the day it was the year it was made, came released, 1980. Caddyshack is 40 years old.
40 years old.
And I said to Ray, I saw a text back. And said, "You believe this is 40 years old?"
It was like
timeless. It's timeless.
This is my timeline for that day. After I came back from playing basketball or shooting basketball, mind you, and then I took a shower and got something to eat, and then you texted me that. It was like a gut punch. I was sore, could hardly walk, and then you told me Caddyshack was 40 years old. I couldn't believe it. I told my girlfriend, I said, "Do you believe that?" She was like, "No way, that's 40 years old." But it was.
And it's timeless. Even just everything about it. I mean, there's nothing really out of place.
How many people are dead from that movie? Ted Knight, Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, Rodney is, Ted is, and as far as the main actors go.
That's it?
Yeah, because, I mean, a lot of them were young kids. They were caddies.
Yeah.
Bill Murray's, Lacey Underall's, Ted Knight's wife in the movie. I don't know if she's still around.
Well, and the guy that played the main caddy, he's
Brian Doyle Murray.
Yeah, he's like always the old guy that's
it's
doing something shady on shows now.
Let's see who else was older in there. I mean, Dr. Beeper. He was in his 50s there. You could the priest.
Yeah.
So some of those guys, I have to look that up. Some of those characters, but the main ones. I mean,
what they're doing now.
40. I was saying to Richard, it's like, if you were when you were watching that movie when it first was released, 1980, it'd be like saying, "Hey, look at that movie's on Showtime or AMC. It was released in 1940. Well, a pre-World War II. So
well,
when that came out, a movie 40 years old was before World War II, and here we are talking about in the year 2020.
Well, to that point, Olivia
de Havilland.
Yeah,
I didn't.
She was still alive. I didn't either.
Olivia de Havilland from Gone with the Wind. She died at age 104. 104.
Yeah, 104.
Yeah, I just saw that. That was yesterday.
Side note, I'm All Right by Kenny Loggins is one of the few songs I relate to a movie. Mm-hmm. It's Caddyshack's entrance movie. It's one of the few that I definitely put to that movie.
And the movie was written by Harold Ramis. They had done Animal House a couple years earlier. Animal House came out like in 77?
Yeah, I was going to say 78.
So they had to make another movie, and they did this, and it was really Ramis and Bill Murray, because they were in Second City Comedy together, and it was going to be a story about caddies, because Bill Murray's family, he was a caddy, and so was his brother. So it was going to be built around the caddies, and somehow or other, this gopher got involved, tearing up the golf course, and what Bill Murray was going to be about Noonan, and his trying to go into school and all that. All of a sudden, the dailies when they were doing the dailies, it was this gopher was becoming the star, and they had to figure out a way to tie it all together, and then they had to figure out a way to get Bill Murray and Chevy Chase in the same scene.
Yeah, because they don't like each other.
They don't like each other, and that's how they did that scene where Chevy's practicing at night. The ball goes into Carl's, and that was their scene together. And I'll bet you none of that was scripted.
No.
Because Chevy's such a great performance actor, improv, and Bill Murray the same thing.
Bill.
But they didn't like
Bill's
Bill,
one of my favorites. I enjoy Bill.
Yeah, I love Bill Murray.
Anyway, we gotta let you guys go to work.
I gotta go to work. It's 10 o'clock now. I got a nap in 4 hours. I gotta be doing something.
Y'all have a nice day.
My nap. I'm tired.